We found this.
They called him the Chosen One.
Who is they?
He carried the weight of every expectation on his shoulders. But he never broke.
Broke.
We were all witnesses.
Who was this witness?
Every rival was defeated. Every idol was destroyed. He took the crown and kept it. Behold the greatness. He is the forever king.
He's not my king.
Nike just released what might be the most delusional advertisement in sports history. They called him the Chosen One, the narrator declares over dramatic music. But here's the problem. Nobody called LeBron that. He literally tattooed it on his own back. And that was just the first lie in a commercial so packed with fiction that even LeBron fans couldn't defend it. The internet went nuclear within hours. Comments flooded in calling it everything from fraud propaganda to the worst Nike ad ever made. But the real kicker? This wasn't just some random marketing campaign. This was LeBron's attempt to rewrite his own legacy, one false claim at a time. Make sure you hit that subscribe button because what we're about to uncover reveals how LeBron's desperation to be seen as the GOAT has reached levels that would make even his biggest supporters cringe. And trust me, the shoes this commercial was promoting might be even worse than the lies. The Chosen One myth. Let's start with the very first line of this train wreck. They called him the Chosen One. This is where the whole commercial falls apart before it even gets going. Because nobody, and I mean nobody, called LeBron James the Chosen One.
LeBron, he's the one who put on his back in a tattoo, the Chosen One. He's the one who called himself the King. That wasn't anybody else. When you do that, you put a target on your back when you talk about you're the King and you're the Chosen One. And then you want to bellyache about it. You go from team to team, trying to stack your freaking team, and you still...
Let me handle this.
He gave himself that nickname, got it tattooed across his back, and then spent years trying to make people believe it was organic. The real story is actually embarrassing. LeBron was so obsessed with creating his own mythology that he literally branded himself with a nickname he made up. Then Nike had the audacity to rewrite history and pretend like the world crowned him with this title. It's like watching someone give themselves a trophy and then making a documentary about how they earned it. Sports Illustrated did put the Chosen One on a cover featuring teenage LeBron, but that came after he had already started calling himself that. The media didn't create this narrative, they just went along with LeBron's self-promotion. There's a huge difference between the world recognizing your greatness and you demanding they recognize greatness you haven't proven yet. But this is classic LeBron. He spent his entire career manufacturing his own legend instead of just letting his accomplishments speak for themselves. The Chosen One thing was just the beginning of a pattern that would define his entire approach to legacy building. And what came next in the commercial would prove just how disconnected from reality this whole campaign really was, the weight he never carried. The next line in the commercial is even more laughable. He carried the weight of every expectation, but he never broke. Never broke. This man literally fled Cleveland on national television because the pressure got too much. He went on ESPN, crushed an entire city's dreams, and announced he was taking his talents to South Beach because he couldn't handle being the guy in his hometown. But it gets worse. Remember what LeBron said during that Miami Heat championship celebration? Not one, not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven.
Not two. LeBron, tell us about that.
Not two, not three, not four, not five, not six, not seven.
Eight, Bob.
He was so confident about his super team that he basically guaranteed 7 championships before they played a single game together. Then 2011 happened. The Dallas Mavericks exposed LeBron in the finals, and he absolutely crumbled under pressure. We're talking about a man who disappeared in the fourth quarters of multiple finals games, couldn't make free throws in clutch moments, and looked completely lost when the lights were brightest. That's not carrying weight without breaking. That's the textbook definition of breaking under pressure. The revisionist history in this commercial is insane. LeBron's entire career has been defined by him running from pressure, not embracing it. Every time things got difficult, he changed teams, got new teammates, or found a way to shift blame. That's not the behavior of someone who never broke. That's the behavior of someone who's been constantly breaking and finding ways to fix the situation externally instead of internally. But Nike wants us to believe he's been this unbreakable force throughout his career. The mental gymnastics required to make that claim work are Olympic level. Every rival defeated. Here's where the commercial reaches peak delusion. Every rival was defeated. This line is so disconnected from reality that it's actually offensive to basketball fans who have eyes and can count. LeBron James has a 4-6 record in NBA Finals. Let me repeat that. He's lost more finals series than he's won. Name another GOAT candidate in any major sport who has a losing record on the biggest stage. You can't, because it doesn't exist. Michael Jordan went 6-0. Tom Brady won more Super Bowls than he lost. Wayne Gretzky dominated hockey playoffs. But LeBron? He's literally lost more often than he's won when it mattered most. And it's not just about the overall record. LeBron is 1-3 against Stephen Curry in the finals. Think about that.
Don't shush me.
His most important rival in the modern era has beaten him 3 times out of 4 meetings. How exactly does that translate to every rival was defeated? The San Antonio Spurs beat him twice. The Dallas Mavericks embarrassed him in 2011. The Golden State Warriors dominated him in 2015, 2017, and 2018. These aren't close losses. Some of these were absolute beatdowns where LeBron looked completely outmatched. But here's what's really insulting about this claim. It disrespects all the great players who actually did beat LeBron. Dirk Nowitzki, Tim Duncan, Stephen Curry, Kevin Durant. These guys didn't just compete with LeBron, they straight up defeated him when it mattered most. Nike's commercial essentially erases their accomplishments to prop up a false narrative about LeBron's dominance. The audacity to claim every rival was defeated when your finals record is 4-6 is the kind of revisionist history that makes people question everything else about your legacy. The crown that never existed. He took the crown and kept it. This might be the most delusional line in the entire commercial. What crown? When did LeBron ever establish himself as the undisputed king of basketball? Because looking at the actual evidence, there's never been a period where LeBron was the clear, unquestioned best player in the league for an extended time. Let's break down LeBron's NBA timeline. He entered the league in 2003. During his career, Kobe won 2 championships, Tim Duncan won 4, Stephen Curry won 4, Kevin Durant won 2, and Kawhi Leonard won 2. That's not the resume of someone who took the crown and kept it. That's the resume of someone who's been one of several elite players sharing the spotlight. Even during LeBron's so-called peak years, there were always legitimate arguments for other players being better. When he was in Miami, people argued Kobe was still the best. When he returned to Cleveland, Curry was revolutionizing the game. When he went to LA, Kawhi Leonard was being called the best two-way player in the league. The crown metaphor only works if there was actually a moment where LeBron became the undisputed king and then maintained that position. But that moment never happened. What actually happened was LeBron crowned himself, literally, he calls himself the king, and then spent years trying to convince people it was legitimate. This is what's so frustrating about LeBron's legacy campaign. He had incredible accomplishments that speak for themselves, but he's so obsessed with being seen as the undisputed GOAT that he keeps making claims that don't match reality. You can't just declare yourself king and then pretend everyone agreed with you. The internet's brutal response. The reaction to this Nike commercial was swift and absolutely brutal. Social media lit up with comments that destroyed every single claim the ad made, and honestly, a lot of them were more accurate than anything Nike put in their script. One comment perfectly summarized the situation. This fraud has never been the chosen one and needed Wade, Bosh, Kyrie, Love, and AD to carry his expectations, has broke several times, hasn't defeated any of his idols. That's not hate, that's just factual analysis of LeBron's career path. Another person pointed out the Curry comparison. He is 1-3 versus Stephen Curry in the finals. Curry has as many championships as LeBron, and did it with a single team and without a bubble championship. This hit particularly hard because it exposed how LeBron's championship count is inflated by team hopping and unique circumstances. But the most telling responses were the ones that questioned LeBron's mental state. Comments like, "Why do I feel like this ad moves Kobe ahead of him from 2-spot all-time? So insecure," got to the heart of what this commercial really revealed: desperation. The religious references in the comments were also significant. Multiple people responded with, "Jesus is forever king, and the Lord our God is the only forever king," which shows how LeBron's self-proclaimed royalty actually offends people on a deeper level than just basketball. What made the backlash even more devastating was that it came from all directions. LeBron haters, casual fans, and even some LeBron supporters who were embarrassed by how over-the-top the commercial was. When your own fans are cringing at your legacy campaign, you know you've gone too far. The shoes that made it worse.
See those shoes?
It was ugly, really ugly. And
As if the delusional commercial wasn't bad enough, the shoes this campaign was designed to promote might be even more embarrassing. When pictures of LeBron's new sneakers hit the internet, the reaction was immediate and merciless. These things look like orthopedic shoes that fell into a box of glitter. The design is so bad, it's almost impressive. They managed to combine the worst elements of medical footwear with the aesthetic sensibilities of a craft store explosion. These aren't basketball shoes. They're what happens when you let someone with no taste design something they think looks futuristic. But here's what makes the shoe design even more insulting. Nike is charging premium prices for footwear that looks like it was rejected from a retirement home catalog. The disconnect between the grandiose claims in the commercial and the actual product they're selling is staggering. The shoes became a meme within hours. People were comparing them to everything from moon boots to therapeutic devices. One comment that really captured the absurdity said they look like LeBron fell and his feet landed in a box of glitter and he walked out. That's not the kind of viral moment you want when you're trying to cement your legacy. What's really telling is how the shoe design reflects the same problem as the commercial. It's trying way too hard to be something it's not. Just like LeBron's attempts to manufacture his own mythology, these shoes are over-designed, over-dramatic, and completely miss the mark of what people actually want. The combination of a delusional commercial and terrible product design created the perfect storm for LeBron's brand. Instead of celebrating his actual accomplishments, this campaign made people question his judgment and authenticity. When mythology meets reality. Nike's latest LeBron James commercial represents everything wrong with modern athlete branding: the desperate need to rewrite history, the shameless self-promotion, and the complete disconnect from reality that comes with being surrounded by yes men for too long. LeBron James has had an incredible basketball career. 4 championships, multiple MVPs, and the all-time scoring record are legitimate accomplishments that deserve respect. But this commercial showed that even those real achievements aren't enough for him. He needs to be seen as perfect, unbeatable, and divinely chosen. The backlash wasn't really about hating LeBron.
Hate? No, not at all. Oh, come on.
It was about people being tired of manufactured narratives that insult their intelligence. When you claim every rival was defeated while sporting a 4-6 finals record, you're not building a legacy, you're destroying your credibility. The most damaging part of this entire campaign is that it revealed LeBron's insecurity. A truly confident legend doesn't need to lie about their accomplishments or crown themselves with fake titles. They let their work speak for itself and trust that history will judge them fairly. Instead, LeBron chose to double down on mythology over reality, and the internet made him pay for it. Sometimes the most honest feedback comes from the comment section, and in this case, the fans delivered a reality check that no amount of Nike marketing money could overcome. If this breakdown of LeBron's latest PR disaster opened your eyes to how legacy campaigns can backfire spectacularly, make sure to subscribe for more honest takes on the stories that shape basketball culture. Because sometimes the most important truths come from the people brave enough to call out the lies.